Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shuffle here, and we have a bit of news for you guys that Apple and Goldman Sachs, the investment bank, are going to be issuing a credit card together in early 2019. This is according to sources that spoke to the Wall Street Journal. It was published in an article in the Wall Street Journal a few days ago. So basically, Apple already partnered with Barclaycard, or should I say now it's called Barclays, actually they've rebranded, but Apple already partnered with Barclays to release a credit card, and that's been available since 2005. But they seem to be aiming to ditch the Barclays credit card and are moving over to Goldman Sachs, according to people familiar with the situation who were quoted in Wall Street Journal's article. So let's first of all look at the existing Apple credit card from Barclays. And then we'll analyze, what's going on with Apple and Goldman Sachs and what this new credit card might bring to the table. So the existing offer from Barclays is the Apple Rewards credit card. It's a Visa card. It gives you 3 points per dollar on Apple purchases, 2 points per dollar on restaurants, and 1 point per dollar on everything else. Points are basically worth 1 US cent, so for 2,500 points, you can exchange for a $25 Apple gift card. Now, in addition to the point earning, the current Barclays card also features 0% interest financing for Apple items. So for items under $500, it is you get 6 months interest-free financing. For items from $500 to $1,000, you get 12 months interest-free financing, and you get 18 months interest-free financing for items over $1,000. And that's only if you make the purchase within 30 days of the account opening. And so, normally we say, I don't recommend buying stuff on credit, although we did have that video with Ask Sebi a while back where we talked about, if it's something that's going to make you money, like a computer you're going to use for work, then it is a lot more excusable to use some sort of financing for it. So what do you think about it?
The one exception I do think is if you are buying an iMac, if you are a designer or someone who needs that computer in order to make money, then I think it makes sense, especially if you're getting some deferral. But if it's sort of like, hey, I want to be a designer, so let me buy this $3,000 MacBook or something, that's probably a bad idea.
So that's a great way to get 0% financing on Apple products. Of course, you could also take advantage of, interest-free periods on other credit cards. This is not a very unique perk, but it's there. So if you do want interest-free financing on an Apple product, this card offers it if you make the purchase within 30 days of opening the card. Okay, so now let's talk about this deal between Apple and Goldman Sachs, and first of all, we'll cover why they're doing it. So Apple, although it had a pretty strong quarter, sales of the iPhone have been kind of waning. The iPhone X was still the most popular smartphone every week of the last quarter, but overall, sales have been a little bit down from before, and it's just seems to be because people are replacing their phone less often. And that's probably due to the fact that each phone that comes out, it's not a huge leap like it was before, like from iPhone 3 to 4 and then from 4 to 5. Those were really big leaps. Now, I'm still on iPhone 6, not even a 6 Plus, and it does everything I need. There's no point for me to upgrade to the 7 or the iPhone 10 or whatever. So people are replacing their phone less quickly, which is bringing down sales a little bit of iPhones. But Apple's subscription services saw a big jump in profits. I think it was something like 30-something% increase since last year, 7 or 8% increase since the first quarter. So services include subscriptions like Apple Music, things like Apple Pay, etc., which if you don't know, when you use Apple Pay, Apple takes a 0.15% cut of that sale every time you use Apple Pay. So they're definitely going to be keen to push their services and their Apple Pay, etc. According to Tim Cook, they want to double the revenues from this area going into next year. So Goldman Sachs, likewise, is in a kind of similar situation in that its traditional business of securities trading has been on the wane since the global financial crisis of 2008. Actually, their revenues from securities trading have dropped 2/3 since then. So they've been trying to make it up with going into actually retail banking, loans, and now credit cards. So people expect this card to have a strong tie to Apple Pay, and also to Apple's subscription services, etc. Apparently, according to people with knowledge of the situation, in the contract that Apple's signing with Goldman Sachs, they are able to increase their merchant fee, their cut of Apple Pay, from 0.15% up to 0.3%. That's actually doubling. And they could use that to bring more benefits to customers, or just bring in more profit, obviously. I expect there will be some Apple subscription service benefits from this, perhaps even higher points earning if you subscribe to Apple Music, maybe it's a 5% discount, because this is essentially a digital product, so the sort of cost, there's no cost of raw materials for it or anything. Obviously they're paying royalties to the singers and songwriters and stuff, but potentially I think probably the margins are bigger, so there probably is more room to discount with a digital product like that. I also hope that the new card will include iPhone insurance. Okay, so just like we saw with the Uber credit card, provided a cell phone insurance plan, because obviously if you're riding an Uber, you're going to be holding your cell phone out on the sidewalk like that quite a lot. It's very inviting for thieves. And so, if you like Apple products, chances are you've got an iPhone. So it would be great if they offered a iPhone-only insurance plan on the new credit card. I mean, Apple's not going to insure an Android, is it? But yeah, and that's also a good way of keeping people within the Apple sphere. So you perhaps have the subscription to Apple Music, so you get the Apple credit card, so you get the discount on that, and then you also think, well, I got the insurance plan for an iPhone, so I might as well, when I'm renewing my phone, I might as well keep an iPhone and keep buying iPhones because I get the cell phone protection from my Apple credit card. So that would be one of my suggestions to Apple and Goldman Sachs, and also I think that would be great for consumers. Guys, what features would you like to see in this new Apple credit card that is supposedly coming out in early 2019? Please leave your comments in the comments section below. Have you used the original Barclays Apple credit card? Did you use it to finance an iMac or something? Love to hear your experience with that too. As always, guys, please subscribe for more credit card tips and tricks almost every day, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.